Yo, what's up everybody? It's Quack, and today I'm actually in a pretty good mood today. Some spoilers came out and I was spoiled unfortunately for the next chapter of One Piece. It was a pretty big spoiler, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna say it just in case, but all I'm gonna say, I'm not too happy and you won't like me when I'm angry. But in all seriousness, I do want to do a review for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Wow. That's all I really gotta say. I didn't really have like too big of expectations. You know, the trailers looked really good. Everything we've been hearing about has been sounding really amazing. But the last few Marvel shows that have come out, or movies, have not really been the best. So I was kind of expecting to go in here and be a little disappointed, but it's Spider-Man, so it's kind of like a win-win or a win-lose situation, you get what I mean? That's not what I got. I walked out of this movie holding back tears. Before I actually get into this, at some points in this movie, I was legitimately trying to hold back my tears. Some of this stuff, it's the way it's delivered that gets me, and I'll get into that in a second. Now, firstly, to start, I kind of want to start with the characters. I have a little list here of the characters that I liked. It's literally just the main cast, but all of these niggas acted as though this was their last movie, especially Jean. I don't know, it's something about the way she acted in this movie. It just, for there to be no real villain, she played her part well enough to where I was satisfied. And Spider-Man, as you guys have probably already seen, Tom Holland is a very good actor, and in all his other Spider-Man movies, he's quite used to the role now. So at this point, I'm not even surprised that he was able to move the audience in the way that he did. Like, there were scenes, like, for example, now, spoiler warning, you know, I'm talking about what I think about it, but yeah, just a second. But the scene where he pulled up to that party and, you know, he was talking to Ned and MJ walks in and I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy crap, what's about to go? Because, you know, after the last movie, she don't even know this nigga. So I'm sitting, I'm like, bro, go home, man. What are you doing? Like, what do you expect to happen? Now, at the same time, I get it, right? They didn't really leave off on bad terms, right? And this is the thing that gets me about this movie. Have y'all ever been in a relationship that didn't end on bad terms? It's just, y'all just ended up splitting up because you felt like it was best, or she felt like it was best for her. That's the thing, because it's like you always have this small hope in the back of your mind that maybe, that in some possibility, some realm, there's a chance that we can get back together. And to have that conclusion, the conclusive thought that hell no, that's not happening, don't even go home and dream about it, it's over. And like the thought that I have to now live the rest of my life without you after yesterday we were together, we were happy, day before, and now all of a sudden it just ceases to exist. That's the thing. I can understand that part, and that got me. And I kind of was under the impression that at the end of this movie, Tom Holland's Spider-Man was going to end up getting MJ back. You know, it's a Marvel movie, but at the same time, for those who've read, you know, some Spider-Man comics, you know, Spider-Man doesn't really get what he wants ever. Thing of it is, man, just seeing how MJ really just does not remember Pete. Ned does not remember Pete. You're thinking, okay, at some point he's gonna find some kind of spell, some kind of, you know, keyword that he can say and jog their memory. No, for the entirety of that show, even after she finds out who he is, she's like, I'm sorry, but I have no love for you. Like, I don't even know you, I'm sorry. And hearing those words right there, it's something that, like, you could feel the I don't love you anymore. When she said that, it was like, Pete, I feel so bad. Because, like, throughout the entire show, it's like he can never just get something good. Now, granted, it's not all terrible, because at least he still gets to see MJ. He gets to see that she's happy, because that realistically is all that matters. I understand he was upset when he went to that party and saw MJ with that girl, but she was happy though, and that's the thing. She was happy. She was good. Pete should never have even gone. Like, he should have just stayed home and just hoped that she was just in the best position possible. But throughout the movie, it's kind of like this tension of when is she going to find out? And there is a moment, because as you guys should know, the villain is Jean Grey. She takes over the mind of MJ, and for a couple seconds, she led the audience to believe that MJ had came back to her original consciousness. No. I'll explain the scene just in case you guys have not actually seen it. MJ is trying to protect, or Pete is trying to protect MJ. He takes her far off somewhere, trying to keep her safe. Now, Jean Grey has already taken over MJ. Pete does not know this. Pete is thinking that he kept her safe. He trapped Jean Grey. She's out of the way. I got MJ. Now all I need to do is just keep her with me and keep her safe. Simple. She was already taken. The entire scene, Pete is over here thinking, finally, she's back. The woman I love, she's finally back. Just for Jean to just say no. And that's the thing that gets me about Jean. I understand you're hurting. I understand that she's gone through like a lot of pain and suffering, but you should understand that pain and suffering enough to not want to push that onto somebody else. You are a hoe, Jean. I can't believe you did that. It shook me. I expected better from you. And then all of a sudden you do my boy Pete like this. Like, at that moment, I kind of knew Pete wasn't gonna get what he wanted. I could not imagine them doing that and then turning around and then being like, nah, yeah, here you go, Pete, you can have her back. No, especially after he met Frank. I feel like the whole point of Frank was kind of like an example, I guess, for Pete and what he's going through. You know, they're kind of like therapeutic for each other. You have Pete, who's like the Boy Scout of like superheroes, and then you got Frank Castle, who just puts bullets into everybody. And the contrast between the two, and actually Frank is just cursing out the wazoo, which I'm not surprised. It is Frank, that's his character, that's really what he should be doing. But at the same time, for it to be in a Spider-Man movie is something I did not expect. They kind of really wanted this to feel like a comic book movie. You can really tell in the way Pete swings, in the way he fights. He's really creative in the way that he moves and maneuvers around all the enemies. And also, I gotta give props to the fighting director. Whoever that was, that nigga knew what he was doing, bro. I've never really seen a Marvel movie where they fought like this. It seemed like they were just doing anything and everything to try and get cool shots, but they made sure it was like, okay, for a Marvel type of fight, it might be a little goofy in the terms of like being realistic, but this is Marvel, so it makes sense. I can see them doing. I mean, it's not like it's physically impossible, it's just physically impossible. And I know I'm skipping over a lot of stuff. It's just that if you have not watched it, I don't want to just spoil everything, but you did get the warning, so I assume that you know there's going to be some level of spoilers here. Now, as far as the plot was, I'm not going to say it was straightforward, but it was fairly straightforward. It's just for a Spider-Man movie, it's not really something I would expect. I like the whole mental conflict and the kind of mental despair that Pete is going throughout the entire movie. And like, I feel like it's something that they wanted people to really understand Pete. That he's not just some superhero who gets everything he wants, that he has lows, and his lows are low to the point to where even within his low points, there are new things adding on top of it, because that's just how life is. It's just, you got a whole bunch of problems and it's just not stopping. And now you have to deal with not only your problems, but the problems of somebody else. And then you have to go and care about all of New York. I feel like it's such a perfect thing to have Pete go through, if that makes sense. It's like having Pete, having Frank, Two characters who are very different, but yet at this point in their lives are having some similarities, you know? To where it's like, okay, Frank Castle and this dude, the reason they get along so much is because they're complete opposites, but yet they can understand, well, I can't really do it in quotes. They understand each other. Like, Frank is able to understand Pete enough to where he can help him, enough to where he wants to help him, enough to where he will let Pete basically give him suggestions that he will follow, that most likely, unless he's just like, hell no, I want to do it my way, he will at least argue with Pete, so at least to get Pete to understand that his way is the right way. But would Frank really do that with everybody? No, like, no. So for him to have this type of relationship with Pete, it's very important. I feel like this was a very important like piece to the story, and I'm glad they gave Frank such a big role. I was hoping that role went to Hulk or Bruce, but it didn't, and I see why it didn't. There's no way Bruce would have been able to really help Pete in what he was going through at that moment. I mean, yes, because those like, I know the Hulk, trust me, I know the Hulk, that's my guy, but I don't see Hulk helping him with this. Actually, not really. I feel like Bruce could have helped him as well. The thing of it is, I don't know if this Bruce has ever had like a Betty Ross or anything like that. I don't know, but this story, this movie was surprisingly well made. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are, you know, or have the mental cognition to tell that they used a whole bunch of AI in this, but it's one of those things you just gotta say, oh, it is what it is. I mean, what are we gonna do about it? What, complain, not go watch the next movie, Doomsday? I know they filled that crap with AI out the wazoo, and I'm still finna go watch that crap. I'm gonna be in those seats, I'm gonna be rooting for Doom, and I'm finna be happy. But that's really all I have to say. I don't want to really, I really want to say, nah, you know what, no, never mind. I don't want to spoil it, just in case, 'cause I know some people are the type to where they literally just will not click off a video. But please go watch this movie. You can't get what I'm saying without watching the movie. It's the only way you'll be able to understand. But please, go watch that hoe. And until next time, because of that One Piece crap I've been seeing, the chapter is coming soon. And that video is coming even sooner. Well, that's not possible. It is possible if I make it possible. But yeah, I'll see y'all.